Obviously, I'm a Yankees fan, so I'd love to see him.
It's almost like legacy of like the NFL versus.
But I definitely think that Baker could be a really good player for the Panthers moving forward.
Did I say Oreos?
There's a lot of questions I have about Mahomes. Looks like a kid playing Madden.
Turning point in the game is the 13-second drive.
They play very hard, even though they're terrible.
He's a good pick. You for sure. He's going to be a good player. But I can't argue against the Jamar Chase pick.
They made moves saying we're going to win this year, at least get into the playoffs.
I'm going with my guy, Corey Seager. So glad.
What's good, y'all? My name is Austin Jarman, and I play rugby for the University of Notre Dame. And you're listening to The Outsider's Opinion with Austin and Kevin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our take two because of trades. We had a already recorded video, but then trades happened, which would have messed up my KP trade with the Blazers at 3. But we did a new mock draft. So once again, the man with the ball in his hands, Austin.
Yeah, Kevin, thank you for agreeing to redo this. I mean, I did not anticipate what happened to happen, and
I got to break news to you, which is probably for the first time ever that I've got to break sports news to you.
That's true. I was at work, drove home, didn't look at my phone at all, realized the KP trade, realized that I had to trade at 29. The Wizards do end up trading for 30, which was a prediction of mine, but now it doesn't count. So you would have lost points. I would have lost points with the 29 pick, but I also would have gained points with the 30. It works both ways here, but it's the most fairest thing to do. Most fair thing is just to restart, and then we get a clean slate.
And we also forgot to, what are the points for this? You forgot to
so it's 1 point for the right team and 1 point for the right pick. So for each player, they could have the right team or the right pick or both. So the most points you can get is 2 per pick.
Cool.
So you get 1 point right for Scoot Henderson to the Hornets and 1 point right for Scoot Henderson at 2, for example.
All right. Well, I'm pretty confident I'll have 2. I'm not sure how else it's gonna go, especially with all the trades that could happen. But yeah, so let's get right into it. Number 1, Victor Wembanyama, number 1 pick to the Spurs.
I 100% agree. We don't have to spend much time on this. It's the easiest pick.
Yes. Now 2 is where it gets tricky. I still am going to stick with Scoot to the Hornets. I don't believe Brandon Miller. They're going to pick Brandon Miller. I think that's a smokescreen.
I 100% agree. I don't want to fall for it. I'm not going to fall for it.
Yeah, and then this is where the Blazers keep their pick and they take Brandon Miller, which works out if they're going to keep Dame.
Yeah, I agree. We went 3 for 3 in our previous mock draft that we did, and we continue there. I definitely made some changes, but not that high in the draft.
Now, the next pick is pick 4, and that is Rockets. I'm going with Amen Thompson. I'm buying into the hype.
I'm not buying into the hype, but I believe the Rockets do, and I agree. Amen Thompson to the Rockets at 4.
Yeah. Okay, so 4 for 4. Now 5, we got the Pistons. I have them taking Jarris Walker.
This is our first split up. It was our first split up in the first mock draft that we did, but now we split up here again. I have the Pistons going Taylor Hendricks. The hype for him has been heating up lately. The Pistons do need a player like him, a 6'8" wing that can be athletic and be a good defender when needed and can score the ball. And I think he's a perfect fit here.
All right. Okay. Yeah, both are forwards, so it makes sense. Number 6 with the Magic, Ausar Thompson. I'm sticking with him.
Got it. I'm going Cam Whitmore. I believe he falls out of the top 5. At the beginning of the draft process, he was expected to go maybe even above Miller at some point, but that definitely fell down, and I think he falls all the way to 6, which, like I said, a month ago would have been crazy to say.
Yeah, and then 7 is my Cam Whitmore to the Pacers. I still think they fill that forward need.
Yeah, I agree. They fill with a forward. I go Jarris Walker here. I'm very high on him, but I don't think the Magic want a player like him. I believe they need shooting much more, and Whitmore will bring that. So I have Walker going to the Pacers for defense. So
okay. All right. Now we get to 8 with the Wizards. Anthony Black. I'm believing in it.
I'm going Kason Wallace. Partially just because I want Kason Wallace as a Wizards fan. I'd be fine with both. Again, just like I said in the last video that we did, or the last the pre-recording, the first take, we'll say.
Yeah.
I tried, or I said that I would try to get a Anthony Black Wizards jersey because I'm an Arkansas fan. So I definitely would. If you are correct here, Kevin, I will definitely be doing that. But I'm going Kason.
Yeah. I feel this would work out for you given the trouble that you've had. But yeah, number 9, Kason Wallace as well. For me,
Yeah.
too, yes.
Yeah, my 9 is Anthony Black. So we flip again, and the Jazz I think are going to go away from Sexton. Black is a 6'7" point guard with a lot of IQ, and I think that he fits their timeline and scheme much better.
Yes. And now we get to my Mavericks, where I have them keeping the pick. I'm cool with them trading it, depending on what they get. But nothing really's happened yet. So I think if it shakes out, Taylor Hendricks fall. If this is how it happened to me, and I was like, if Taylor Hendricks is here, they're going to take Taylor Hendricks.
Okay, well, I don't think Taylor Hendricks will fall that far, but we will see. This is where I have Azar Thompson. He's a better shooter than his brother, worse passer. But again, I'm not high on either of them, but I think the Mavs go with the wing here that can grow into a good defender.
Yeah, I don't want to. I just want a good pick. I don't want Grady Dick because I don't think he fits. But yeah, or they can trade it maybe with Atlanta and get some compensation, like a Clint Capella. We'll see though. Now 11. Who do you have?
At 11, I have Grady Dick. You just mentioned him not going to the Mavs. Well, I do have him going to the Magic. They need shooting again, and I think they go all in.
Yeah, I have Grady Dick as well. It just, he's right for the Magic. It works for them. He's a really good player. Maybe he can develop into something more, but right now it gives them something very good.
I definitely agree.
So now we go to 12. I have a trade that could still happen, and I believe the hype for Lively. People are believing into the hype of Lively. So the Warriors trade Kuminga to the Thunder for Lively.
That would be impressive if they trade up. Do they give up 19?
They do also give up 19, yes.
Okay, just want to clarify.
But yeah,
at 12, this is where I have Wembanyama's teammate Bilal Coulibaly getting off the board here. He has a lot of potential, and I think the Thunder are a team that will go for that.
All right. So I'm gonna have at 13. I'm gonna have the Raptors taking Bufkin.
I agree. Bufkin at 13 makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
They need a guard scoring. They need guards, and so if they're not going to trade Siakam, which they may not, the only way to really improve is by going guard here and a scorer in that.
They might lose a guard, so they're going to gain a guard through the draft with Van Fleet most likely leaving. But now 14 with the Pelicans, Derek Whitehead, small forward. I think that's going to help them.
Whitehead at 14 would be an extreme jump up from his injury riddled season. He obviously broke his foot and then didn't end up playing the majority of the season. So I would stay away from him. But if the Pelicans believe in him, I could definitely see him going there. I have the Pelicans going Nick Smith Jr. I've seen a lot of people have him dropping. I just don't see it. He has all the talent in the world. If he didn't get hurt a little bit last year, he still played the majority of games, and he ended up playing in the tournament. But I think the Pelicans need a guard. They may get rid of CJ, and I think Smith is the perfect guard to fill in those shoes.
Yeah, that would be a good pick for them too. 15 Hawks. I have them taking Jalen Hood. I think they go guard here.
Yeah, I have the Hawks going Keontae George, which is also a guard. It's just a little bit of a different type of guard. Hood is more of a point guard, and Keontae is not. So I don't think they go point guard because of Young, but I do think they go shooting guard with George.
Okay. Now 16. This is where I have Wembanyama's teammate going, Bilal Coulibaly. It just seems like a Jazz pick to me.
Yeah, I understand that, and I have a com- comparatively type of pick with that. We'll get to eventually.
Okay.
That I feel like the project type players I do think the Jazz would be interested in. But I had the Jazz going with Leonard Miller here. He's a G League player, average 18 and 11. Uh, the Jazz need a power forward, and they're going to have Laurie playing small forward like he did the majority of the year. And you could pair Miller and Walker Kessler in the paint. I think that'd be a great
Ooh,
duo.
that would be a great duo. Um, now we go 17. This is where I have Keontae George going to the Lakers. I think they need a guard, and it seems like they would take a shot.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm going shooting here with Jordan Hawkins, the UConn guard.
Ooh.
He's a great shooter, and I think that the Lakers really improve as a team because of it.
All right. Now we get to the 18th pick. This is where I have Miller going to the Heat.
Okay. I had the Heat taking Derek Lively. I think Lively falls a
Ooh.
little bit just because a lot of the teams I feel like don't need centers. Raptors don't need a center. Pelicans I don't think go center. Hawks don't need a center. Jazz don't need a center. Lakers I don't think go center here. And then the Heater ended up with Lively, which I think they'd be happy with, especially because Bam played so many extra minutes when it wasn't necessary. And a 7-2 center that can play good defense I think would be uh, a very good pick.
Yeah, and maybe Bam goes for Dame. We don't know. Isn't that the rumor?
Maybe.
Like
I
Bam,
mean, I think that is
Portland.
it the rumor. I haven't.
I don't know. There's so many rumors, but like I don't believe them. So now we'll move on. But yeah, that'd be a good pick for the Heat. 19. This is my Thunder pick. They pick up Chris Murray.
Okay. I have him a little bit lower than you, not much lower. At 19, this you said who picks here? Thunder.
You have it was the Warriors, but in the Warriors Thunder trade.
Yeah, but you
Or
have the Thunder,
got
right?
this. Yeah.
So I had this pick being traded as well. This is not what I had in the original, but I changed it. I think Jordan Poole eventually gets traded to the Wizards, and the way they include it
Ooh.
is here, giving away 19, so the Wizards take on another big contract to kind of bolster their
Oh yeah.
future. And I think this is where Hood-Schifino goes, Joe and Hood-Schifino. They need a point guard, and I think that he's a good fit for the future, being that primary ball handler.
All right, that would be interesting. So now 20, I have the Rockets taking Ryan Rupert. It just seems like a Rockets pick to me.
Yeah, I also have a similarly Rockets pick with James Nagy. He only played 12 minutes a game in Barcelona, and I think they need another center, at least defensively and rebound wise, to pair with Şengün. So that's what I think they go with.
All right, now we go to the 21st pick where I'm willing this in for the Nets. Nets get Nick Smith Jr. guard.
Yeah, I had the Nets going City Sissoko here, another G League prospect I played with Scoot and Leonard Miller. He has a lot of upside, and I think the Nets like his intangibles.
All right, now with the Nets' second pick, I have them taking Jordan Hawkins. I think this would just be great for them. They can still play really well, but they also got some nice young guys.
Yeah, I have them going Chris Murray. I think this is you had him at 19. I have him at 22.
22.
Yeah. The shooting that he offers is definitely up there. He's not as good as his brother, or at least not yet. But I think that he will be able to shoot the ball extremely well, and that on the Nets team that when he has good defense will be a plus.
All right. Now to the Blazers. They're going to keep the pick. So I have them taking Noah Clowney, the center.
I agree. I have Noah Clowney
Ooh,
going here
okay.
too. I think they need to get a center, especially with Nurkic not playing as much or playing as well this year.
Yeah, and I feel Clowney's a better defensive center than Nurkic.
Yeah, that's fair.
Now 24, I have the Kings taking Olivier Maxence Prosper.
I had the Kings going Maxwell Lewis out of Pepperdine. Same type of player there, both veteran players that went to a lower school. I guess Marquette with Prosper isn't that much lower, but it's not the normal draft hub that you would think of. But
Yeah.
I just think Lewis just seems like a pick that the Kings would make, and especially how they've groomed talent to be much better than maybe the pick was worth it. But I think that they'll get the most out of him.
And then the 25th for me is Colby Jones, the guard. I think they need a guard, and they're looking to move Tyus Jones, so it works.
Yeah, I have the Grizzlies going Jet Howard, so I also have a guard, but just to kind of fill in that Dylan Brooks role, I feel like is what they're going to try to go after.
Now, the next pick is the Pacers with Sensabaugh, the forward.
I agree. I have Sensabaugh.
Okay. Wow. A lot of agreements here. It's interesting. Did not expect this. Now, 27, I have the Hornets taking Vucevic, the center. I think they're going to try to pair a guy that can shoot like Vucevic. And
Yeah.
it just seems like they would do that.
This is where I have Rupert. Where did you have Rupert going, Ryan Rupert?
I have Rupert to the Rockets at 20.
Got it. Well, I feel like this is also a pick that a middling team like the Hornets, a team that's really struggling for talent, tries to go. He's very comparable, I think, to Dyson Daniels a little bit. Not really, but not in the type of player, but in the type of prospect. Extremely raw, but has a lot of potential. A player that I think is I'm really comparing it because of the NBL. He needs to get better at a lot of stuff, but being a shooting guard, point guard, taller guy that could be a guard, I think would really fit the mold of a type of player that play well against LaMelo Ball or with LaMelo Ball. The height advantage they would have with a 6'9" and 6'8", a 6'8" point guard, 6'9" shooting guard, that they could really play a small ball style with taller guys on the floor.
Interesting. Yeah, that would be that would I thought the Hornets were going to do great this year, but they did not. But yeah, so now 28, the Jazz, I have them selecting Jet Howard.
Got it. I have Gigi Jackson, the South Carolina product, going here. He's kind of you said, who do you have the Jazz going with at 16?
I have them taking Bella Coulibaly.
Yeah, another project. That's what Gigi Jackson is. He's a raw talent that needs to get better at basically everything. But if he reaches his potential, he could be a superstar. So I think the Jazz take on that project. It fits their window.
All right. Yeah, Jazz are just looking for prospects. But now we go to 29, the Nuggets, which I love this for the Nuggets. It's a great pick. And I have them picking Yami Yaquez from UCLA.
Okay. I have them going Amari. Say again.
A little bit older and can probably fit in a little bit more now.
Yeah, that I definitely get that, especially because I feel like they're definitely going to try to go with a guy has experience. But I am going with a little bit of a younger guy, freshman from last year, but a guy that stepped in very well during the season. That's Amari Bailey. Bailey's a good defensive guard, someone that I think his intangibles right now seem like they could be transferred to the NBA extremely easily. A good on-ball defender. And like I said, after Jalen Clark went down for UCLA, he stepped in and hit some big shots and could be a great impact player. And I think he's the type of Peyton Watson. They took Peyton Watson last year from UCLA at 30. And so I think this is a very similar pick here, going to Amari Bailey at 29.
All right. And then your Wizards pick, I'll let you have it.
Thank you. I'm going Colby Jones. I had the Wizards taking Colby Jones in the last draft, but it was a trade, and I had it happening from the Chris Paul trade, and I got necessarily the trade wrong, but I did have the Wizards taking here. But I'm not going to change the pick. If I got the trade before, I'm gonna ride it through.
All right. So mine, this is the same pick for me, but I still like it for the Wizards. Marcus Sasser.
I wouldn't mind that. I think Sasser would definitely be a good defensive two-way guard for us. He still needs a lot of development on the NBA style of game, but I would not hate that pick.
Yeah. So that's all we got. If any other trade happens, this is probably going to be the one we're sticking with. We'll just do text changes. That's all we got. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.